Hey guys, how's it going? It's Chris over at Cousins Paintball. So today we are going to do a quick breakdown of the Axe Pro, how to clean it, lube it, all that fun stuff. Alright guys, let's get to it. Alright, here we go. So first step, what you want to do is you want to at least take your bolt out, like so. All you have to do is push the button on the rear of the marker. Then the second step is going to be to basically remove the frame from the top of the marker. All you have to do is remove the back screw and the front screw on this guy, and the entire frame will come right off. So what you need to grab is your 3/32 Allen key and start unscrewing. Gonna kind of have to go back and forth unscrewing them. So don't get nervous if one kind of grabs on you. Once you get the front one out, normally the rear one's pretty easy to get off after that. So just going to take a few more extra seconds because it is a lot longer than the front is. So let's get that all set up. Alright, and there we go. So, bottom half, top half. Next step would be, if you'd like to at least, is to remove the tube that basically transfers your air from your ASA to the top of the gun, and then your solenoid. So all they both do is just unscrew, but you have to make sure you unplug your solenoid as you're going as well. Then your next step is going to be to remove your plate that is attached to the bottom of your gun. You only really have to do this if you're really trying to get to clean everything on your gun. You can just get to your eyes by unscrewing the side plates on both sides of your gun. And then you can get to your eyes there if you want to do a quick clean and lube. So let's unscrew the plate now. Let's find the Allen key that I need, which looks like that guy is going to be your 5/64 Allen key. It's going to take a little bit of time. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actual screws you do have to remove. So and like I said before, you're only really going to do this if you want to get all the paint out of the little grits that between the plate and the frame and everything like that. So alright, see? And that's how that guy comes off. Nothing too crazy at all. Other tools you're going to need is going to be basic toothbrush, maybe some Q-tips if needed, and some cleaning solution. What we use is denatured alcohol. That stuff does dry really fast, so you don't have to worry about it messing any of your electronics up, basically. So, alright, cool. So basically all you're really going to do, you can spray it on the actual gun itself or on your toothbrush. I like spraying it onto the toothbrush. That's basically what I do, at least. So spray it on it, and then just do a nice coat across and everything like that. Get on any of the paint off this guy that you see. Alright. And, well, a towel as well is always nice to have too, just so you can wipe off any of the extra that was left on it. Alright. Same to the plate. And it's pretty good. Of course, it might take you a little bit longer if you have extra paint on your gun, mattering on how often you actually clean it. So right now it's going to be pretty quick because this guy was actually pretty clean before it was dropped off. So then you can start tightening your plate back on. You want to make sure that your screws are going to go in nice and easy. You don't want to accidentally cross thread them or anything like that. So if they're giving you a tough time, just be real gentle with them. You don't want to mess anything up accidentally. And then you don't want them too tight, just tight enough to make sure they're not going to fall out while you're playing and then causes any chaos while you're playing too. Here's number 5 and number 6. So the next thing you could do is go right to your eyes now. All you have to do is just remove the plate. There we go. All right. Sometimes your D10 is going to get stuck to the plate, probably if it's a little too dirty, or sometimes it is going to get just left right in its slot. All you normally have to do is take like your Allen key or anything like that and pop it out of place. Real easy. And then for your eyes, what I normally do is I take my Allen key and I pop my eyes off of the spot that they're in. And then basically what I do next, same as before, take my denatured alcohol or whatever cleaning solution you're going to use, spray my toothbrush, and then just get right in the area, get the eye plate itself. And then that's another thing that you're going to use the Q-tips for, is to get into any exact spots, and it also helps dry it up as well. So get your eye again, then you're really good to go. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, this guy's pretty clean, so it's going to be nice, easy work for me. And then you just start putting your stuff back. So now you take your eye cover, or well, your eye itself, not the cover, and you put it back in its spot. Do you want to clean off your D10? I forgot to do that, so boop. Then you could drop it right back into place. Doesn't hurt to clean the back side of your cover. You did do the front side of it before, so get that all done. And then just drop your cover right back in place. Mattering on what screw cover you have, of course this is for this guy, your screw could either be on the inside of it, like the Axe Pro has, or it's going to be on the outside, but this guy is going to be on the inside of it. So all you got to do, screw it in place. Sometimes they're going to act up a little bit on you. Just got to make sure the entire thing goes down and is flush when you're done with it. You don't want anything to stick up weird, because that means it didn't go back on properly. Then do it exactly on the other side. So boop, pop that guy off. Like so. And repeat. Pop your eye off. Pop your D10 out. And do it all over again. Yeah, if you stay up on top of this and at least do it almost every single time you play, it's going to be as fast as I'm doing it today. If you wait on it and you wait until you break a bunch of paint, it's definitely going to be a little bit extra time. But, yeah, everyone, sorry about that. Alright, boom, we got our eye back in place. Screw that down. You are good to go. Alright, so basically that's really all you really have to do on the top of your marker. Nothing else really too crazy, except for making sure you do the inside of the gun. Almost forgot about that. So you want to take that guy, and then you want to grab yourself whatever style squeegee you have, and you just want to squeegee out the inside of it. Any old lube from your bolts or paint, whichever reason you are cleaning this guy. Just make sure it's all cleaned out. You don't have to get too crazy on it, but just do enough. Then you want to put your solenoid back on. Screw it into place. And then plug it back in, of course. And then your air tube as well. Alright, and now the top side of your gun is done. Nothing too crazy about it. Then you just switch over to the bottom half. So, mattering on how crazy you want to get with this guy, of course, you could take your grip panels off like I'm going to. Get any paint that's getting broken inside of it or anything like that. Any dirt, grass, whatever happens. Some people play harder than others. And there we go. Grip panels are off. And you just keep repeating the same thing you've been doing from the top half, you do the bottom half. So just start scrubbing away at it. Really mattering in how much detail you want to get into. You could remove your trigger. Right now I can see this guy's really not that bad, so I'm not going to. But all you really have to do is get to the screw, remove it, and you can pull your entire trigger out and clean your trigger separately. But today doesn't look like it's exactly needed. And also these guys come up real far up, so you can actually get really underneath it, and you can come from the inside and scrub out it as well. Nice part about these guys, you really don't have to remove the triggers, but if you want to, you can. Alright, bottom half of this guy looks like it's good to go. Alright, so that's good to go. Mattering on how much paint is on your grips, you could do the grips as well. Scrub out those guys. Alright, and boom. And they're good to go. Like I said before, you saw how fast the denatured alcohol really does dry up. It's basically already dry. There's a few little wet marks, but not a lot. So just make sure you dry it off. Doesn't hurt. Then put your grip frame, not grip frame, but your grips back on your frame. Basically, once you're done with that, you're actually just going to put it right back on your gun. And you're going to put both back parts together. And there we go. It's all back together again. Then you're just going to take your top part, slide it back down. But what you do want to pay attention to with the Axe Pro is you want to make sure your prongs are going to set up onto the board properly. If it doesn't, then your gun's not going to work right. So when you're putting it back together, just pay good attention to that. When you're putting it together, it's really not that hard. and then everything goes back together. So then you're gonna put your 2 screws back in. All right. Like I said before, just make sure when you're putting them together, you don't force anything so nothing gets stripped or anything like that, or cross-threaded. And you're just gonna go back and forth like you did with when you were taking it apart. So, little at a time, nothing too crazy. Right. And just make sure they're snug. You don't have to crank down on them. Alright, boom. So the gun's back together. I always turn my gun on, make sure the eyes are working properly. So when you turn it on like so, you put your finger in it, you check it, then it's all good to go. Then shut your gun off. Alright, next part is your bolt. Basically with the axe, any of the axe platforms, they're all very similar, at least with the spring. You always have to make sure you put your spring back on properly when you are done. So you got to make sure you hear that click when you put the spring on. Because if you don't, then the gun's not going to cycle properly. So let's pull the spring back off. Pull the top part of your bolt off. And then what you want to do is you want to get to the poppet of your gun. So you want to take your Allen key, put it in the rear of the gun, and you want to unscrew it. Pop the back cap off. And then taking your Allen key, you just want to put it right where that brass piece is. That's what the poppet is. And you want to push it right out like so. And it falls out. So what you want to do, you just want to wipe off all the old grease that was on it. And then you want to replace it with new grease. Really any form of grease that you already have. The Planet Eclipse, Empire, Dye, whichever real grease you have will work completely fine on this guy. But just make sure it's grease, not oil. These guys really do like the actual grease. So real simple. All you want to do is put a little bit on your finger, like so, and you just want to dab it on your O-rings. Some of them, of course, aren't going to be moving. Some of them are, but it really doesn't hurt just to do them all so you don't accidentally miss any. So even these rear guys, they really just hold the air in, but it doesn't hurt, especially when you put it in your gun. You don't want to accidentally catch them on anything. So boom, that's how easy it is to do this part of your bolt. Then you have the one on the rear of your poppet, like so. And then you have it on the front part of your bolt. So that's how easy that is. Not really that many parts you have to actually lube up on this guy. Then all you want to do, drop your poppet back into place. And then there is a spring that sits on the back of your poppet. Just make sure it's inside of your poppet. You don't put your poppet back in without it. And then you screw your back cap down. What I do at least is I screw it all the way down, and then I back it out about 1 full turn and then half a turn. It's right just about where you need to be, especially if your pressure going into your gun is set right around 200. So that's 1 and 2. Well, 1.5. Then put your front part of your bolt back on, and then your spring. So as you can see, I actually did put the spring on backwards right off the start. So you just want to take it, flip it back over, and then push it down until you feel it click into place. All right, I'm gonna wipe my hands off because just clean the guy. No reason to get grease back on top of the gun. Then all you do, take your bolt back in, push it back into place, and then boom, your gun is all cleaned up, ready for your next game. Alrighty. Alright guys, so that was how you take apart an Axe Pro and clean it from top to bottom. Like, comment, subscribe, and just write down below, write down what you want us to rip apart next. Alright, thanks.